and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we have a lot of important Barca news to discuss. There has been plenty of breaking news here today, and that revolves around the whole Ter Stegen situation. He has now been removed as the Barca captain. We're going to be talking about that decision from the club. We're going to be talking about what happens next. Araujo will take over for now. But who will be the new Barca captain permanently? Who should take on that armband? Who should take on all of that responsibility? We're going to be running through the candidates and understanding the next step. It's all on the way, and plenty of opinions will be required from you, as we also must discuss the latest breaking news that Inigo Martinez could actually leave Barca this summer. Right now. It is all on the way, so let's get to it. But I would like to first of all begin with Fermin Lopez, because I've got to say, guys, I have received a lot of different questions here, a lot of people wondering, is there something going on with him right now? You know, what's happening with Fermin? A lot of people will have noticed that yesterday he posted quite a cryptic sort of message on Instagram. Nobody was exactly sure right here what he meant by that, you know, who he was referencing, you know, what his problem was, and it was also worth noting that not actually very long after he posted this, he quickly deleted it there. So what exactly was Fermin talking about? Now, naturally, in the Catalan media, rumours are going to appear quite quickly. Nothing is ever going to be left untouched. There's always going to be something to go with that. Now, apparently, that might have been something to do with Gavi. And, you know, look, for me, I find that hard to believe. You know, we see the two of them. They get on very, very well on the face of it there. They're, of course, teammates for club and for country. Now, apparently, the rumour is not even something about the two of them. You know, there's no problem between the two of them themselves. But maybe something to do with their girlfriends, you know, maybe their girlfriends are in some sort of conflict or dispute. Look, I don't know. And I've said it before, guys, I don't want this to become Talk Love Island. That's not who we are. So I would just say right now, on this Fermin stuff, until we get anything concrete, or maybe we see something out of the ordinary ourselves, it's probably best to just move on here. Probably just best to leave this as water under the bridge. There's also been some interesting developments right now in Barcelona training since they have returned from the Asian tour. And of course, it will take a little bit of time there to get over that journey. Apparently, it was 17 hours in total there. The bus, the plane, getting back to Barcelona and recovering from that. All in time, of course, for the Joan Gamper Trophy on Sunday. Now, what I want to talk about here is the younger players within the squad who are still fighting to be part of the first team setup. We saw lots of them impressed there on the Asian tour. Now, Flick right now has recalled the likes of Tony Fernandez, Dro, Jofre, Bardghji, and also Guille Fernandez is part of training right now. And apparently, Flick is still assessing every one of them. And it will then be determined after the Gamper Trophy. So that could be another big match here when it comes to the youngsters, when it comes to them showing Flick what they can do. Because after the Gamper, then it will be decided who's staying with the first team? Who can play a part in the first team? Who can actually add something to the squad this season? And there will also be players who go between the two, you know, play some time at Barca Athletic, will move up and train and play and be part of the squads in the first team too. And as of this moment, guys, who do you think can contribute now? Who do you think is ready in terms of their talent, in terms of what they've shown throughout pre-season? Who can make that impact? Who should stay? And I would also like to give you guys an update today on Inyaki Pena's future, because as we know right now, Pena is not in Barca's plans. He is well behind Joan Garcia, he's behind Szczesny in the pecking order, and we've known all summer long he is going to be leaving the club. He wants to move on, he wants to go somewhere and play football regularly, which you can understand and you can certainly get behind that, but nothing as of yet has really materialised. Now, what we've heard in the media is that Inyaki Pena, he is now into the final year of his contract. Now, usually at Barca, if somebody's in their final year, what that means is, okay, if you want him, come and get him. We will give him away to you. And indeed, we have heard rumours that Barca could terminate his contract. Something similar might happen to that with Oriol Romeo. You could see that happening with Barca. That's just the way they seem to do things. But the good news is today in the media is that we're hearing Como are interested in Inyaki Pena. Of course, they're coached by Cesc Fabregas. We're actually going to be playing them on Sunday at the Joan Gamper Trophy. And apparently on Sunday, talks could actually happen with regards to Pena's future. Maybe Como might actually pay something for him. Could we sell a player? Could Could we get some money coming in? Barca, let's make it happen. Let's do some business here. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens on that. But Pena, he is going to leave, and hopefully not via contract termination. But well, speaking of goalkeepers, and speaking, who even knows about contract terminations? Well, let's talk about Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, because obviously yesterday we did a whole video about the situation. We could speak for hour upon hour about what's been going on with him, his actions this summer, the way the club feel about it. Now, on Wednesday evening in the media, it was widely reported Ter Stegen is going to be stripped of the Barca captaincy. Now, we've heard that for a number of days here. It started to really ramp up now, and it almost seemed as though this is it here. We have reached a crescendo. We have reached a point, basically, now of no return. Because let's not forget, guys, that if Ter Stegen was to remain the captain, when we do play the match on Sunday in the Joan Gamper Trophy, one of his duties as captain would have been the annual tradition as speaking to the fans, taking on the microphone there and addressing the supporters inside the stadium. Now, based as well on his actions at the end of the season, would he have even taken the mic? Would he have even addressed the fans? Would he have even turned up for that game? In the surprising event that he actually did bother, what kind of reception would he have received from the Barca fans inside the stadium? So I think it's best for all parties, really, that responsibility did not lie with him. I think it was in everybody's best interest that Ter Stegen did not stand up in front of everybody with the mic. He should not be the captain. He should not continue leading this club because of the way he has acted. Which is indeed why, right here today, Barca have now issued an official statement. And let's go through this statement step by step and understand exactly what's going on here. Because Barca have announced that following disciplinary proceedings against Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, and until this matter is definitively resolved, the club there, in agreement with everybody, the board and the coaching staff, have decided to temporarily withdraw his role as the first team captain. So Barca right here are saying, because of everything that's been going on, because of the actions of Ter Stegen, they have actually now opened official disciplinary proceedings against him. And whilst all that is going on, obviously, there is no way he can continue as captain. So right now they say it's a temporary withdrawal of the armband, and they say during this period his duties will be taken on by the vice captain, which is Ronald Araujo. So at least right now, Araujo is next in line. He's next in command there in the pecking order in terms of the captains. So that is why, for now at least, he will step up and become the new first team captain at Barca. And I think with all things considered, ultimately you have to say this was not only the right decision for the club to make, but with the way that Ter Stegen was acting, it's the only decision that they could make. Ter Stegen here has left Barca with absolutely no choice. You cannot behave in this way, no matter how you feel, no matter how frustrated you are, and forget about the whole registration thing. You cannot go off on your own as a paid employee of the club. You can't there go and say, okay, it's the end of the season, it's the title celebrations, I'm the captain, but no, I don't want to talk to the fans. I don't feel like speaking to the fans here in the final home game of the season. And also, by the way, I should have been playing more games. I should have been playing here. I should have been playing here. I should have returned for the Champions League, and I'm not happy about that. I'm going to have surgery, and I don't want anybody to come with me. I don't want the Barca club doctor. I'm going to announce my own recovery time. I'm not going to bother meeting with the club. You want to meet with me? You want to talk with me? No, I'm going to cancel all of those meetings. You cannot separate yourself and really go off in a tantrum, all whilst being a very, very well-paid player as the captain of the club. This is the right decision, and it's the only decision that Barca could make, which ultimately means that now, for Ter Stegen at Barca, and in terms of the captaincy, it is over. And even though Barca say there that it's a temporary measure whilst these proceedings, whilst these conversations are going on, I just think, like I say, we've reached a point of no return. This is it now, as Ter Stegen is captain, and we will now be voting. The players will be casting their votes on who they would like to be, in the event of the new season here, the new captain of the club. And where should that responsibility fall? Because yeah, if it does fall permanently with Ronald Araujo, I mean, that could happen there. Like I say, he is next in line as the vice captain. I mean, already for Araujo, it was going to be a massive season for him anyway. I think if he was to become the permanent captain, maybe that would be something that really spurs him on. Maybe that could be exactly what he needs at this point in his Barca career, and ultimately to give him some confidence again, give him some of that authority to go and take hold of games, to be the kind of leader that we know that he can be. Maybe that would allow him to unlock the best Ronald that he has assured us in this season will be coming. So Araujo, for sure, he is a very possible and very worthy candidate in many ways. You've also got somebody as well, like Pedri, who I've got to be honest, guys, if you were going to give it to somebody who I think would be a great captain, I think in terms there of a long-term captain, somebody who conducts themselves brilliantly, keeps themselves out of the public eye, does everything absolutely perfectly on and off the pitch, I mean, Pedri would fit the bill. It would almost be like when Iniesta, when Xavi, took on the responsibility of the armband. Maybe they're not leaders in the way that they're shouting and conducting things, but they lead in their own way. They already have that aura about them because of what they're able to do on the pitch and the way that they are respected. So I think Pedri, sooner or later, he will be the Barca captain. I do believe that there. He will be at the club long term. He has many, many years ahead of him. And like I say, everybody does respect his ability and his standing in the dressing room. But for me, guys, I think we'd have to start talking about Rafinha. For me, he would be one of the outstanding candidates for the role because I just look at him and he screams leader. He screams everything that you would expect from a Barcelona captain there, in terms of the way that he plays, the way that he presses, the effort that he puts in to absolutely every minute of every game. He has incredible commitment to the badge, to the coaching staff as well. He loves the club, he's got real determination, and he has gone through a lot during his time at the club here. But I think maybe with Rafinha, even though I think he goes to another level, I genuinely believe that when he has the armband on, he is a different player again. I think maybe the only thing that goes against him is that sometimes people would say maybe he cares a bit too much. Sometimes it can spill over a bit as the captain there. We've seen that passion turn into anger, a bit of frustration, obviously, there when you're looking away with the Brazilian national team in that game against Argentina. Some of his words came back to bite him a little. So that's the only really caution that you'd have with Rafinha. But for me, I mean, you can't fault his effort. He is one of the leaders, with or without the armband. He helps this team and he makes people around him better. He demands the absolute best. However, guys, if the media are to be believed right now, what they've been reporting over the past 24 hours or so is that the leading candidate right now for the permanent captain's armband, it's looking like it might be Frenkie de Jong, which I think is very interesting and I think understandable in many ways. He is very much one of the longest serving players at the club. He's been through a lot here as well. He's got a lot of experience behind him, and he's also somebody you can't forget who is very well liked in the dressing room. He is very, very well respected by his teammates, and also he's really valued too by Hansi Flick. His form in the second half of the season, you can't dispute it. He was absolutely fantastic and he was an integral part of this whole team. And I think, to be honest with Frenkie, I don't have many doubts about him as the captain. I could understand that decision happening. I could see him becoming the new captain of Barca. I think the only thing that I'd say on him right now, you've got to get that renewal wrapped up. At the end of the day here, I don't really think, and I don't think we'd all feel that comfortable, somebody becoming the new Barca captain, all of that pride, all of that honour, and then being in the final year of his deal. Every single day, that contract, it is running down. And I just think right here for the club, in terms of FFP, in terms of future planning, we want to get that renewal over the line. We've wanted that to happen now for season upon season. I think we all believe that it will. The club believes that it's very much in hand. There was a bit of a switchover, wasn't there, with Frenkie de Jong's agents. But I would like to see that renewal signed and done, keep him here for the longer term, and then he can be the Barca captain. He can lead this team, make no mistake. But I would be very interested, guys, in your opinions right now, thinking about the future, thinking about the long term here. Who would you like to see as the next permanent Barca captain? Thinking about their characteristics as a leader, thinking about their standing, their stature in the dressing room. Who fits the bill? Who would you appoint? Who would you vote for as the new Barca captain? Please do let me know, guys, in the comments down below. I'll be fascinated to know here who you're leaning towards right now. Who are you looking at to take on that responsibility? And I think it's fair to say that they will all conduct themselves much better and much more professionally than the last guy who had the armband. But okay guys, whoa, I mean I've just edited all of this video here, I've been sat here for several hours working on today's news, and then out of nowhere, massive news coming through now about Inigo Martinez. I didn't expect this today, I did not expect this news at all, because he could actually leave the club. It is a genuine possibility here that Barca could sell Inigo Martinez in this summer transfer window. And let's just try here and make sense of what we're hearing right now. Because on the one hand, we are talking about a player who was outstanding in the last campaign. I mean, if you're talking about players who impressed, if you're talking about players who played consistently at an outstanding level, you are talking about Inigo Martinez. He was one of the standout performers for Hansi Flick's team in the last season. So from that point of view, it's crazy that we're talking about him potentially leaving the club, being without him in the season to come. But then on the other hand, we are aware of Barca's situation. We are understanding right now that ultimately somebody's got to go. You know, somebody has to be sacrificed. And this is why we've been talking in recent weeks about Marc-Andre, about Fermin Lopez, about players here who we don't want to sell. You know, we don't want to lose players who can help us. And Inigo, he falls into that category too. I mean, the difference with him would be he is 34 years old. Obviously, he is coming towards his end, although let's be honest, last season it didn't look like that. You know, he's been playing some of the best football of his entire career, so I think right now it also depends on him, you know, where he sees himself. We are seeing him being linked to Saudi Arabia, going out there, of course getting an incredible deal, you know, no mistake about that. Maybe that is something there that really appeals to him at this stage of his career. Barca here are in talks right now with Al-Nassr about a potential transfer, and well, this situation is even developing as I'm talking to you right here. I'm just reading now. The deal's actually done. Inigo Martinez, it's got the here we go Fabrizio treatment. He will join Al-Nassr. And just bear with me, just for 1 second, because I'm just reading up here on the transfer fee, and I'm pretty sure my head is about to explode. There's no transfer fee. Now look, I understand, as we've just said, you know, Inigo Martinez, he's 34 years old. But like I also just said, look how he played last season. We are talking about a top player. We are also talking about a Saudi Arabian club. How have Barca not managed to get a single euro out of them in terms of a transfer fee? We terminated his deal. We have terminated his contract so that he can walk away for nothing because, yeah, Barca are desperate. We're so desperate. We need to free up the salary space, which is what we've done in order to register new signings, which we made whilst we already knew our desperate situation. And as a result of that, we've sold him for nothing. We've given another player away. And I've never seen this before. I have never seen a club fail to get Saudi to pay. They are blessed with resources. They are blessed with unlimited amounts of money. They can spend what they like, and they do. Look at every other club, how they sell to Saudi Arabia. Look at the kind of transfer fees that are being generated. Clubs are selling all of their unwanted players to Saudi Arabia for multi-million euro transfer fees. And yet Barca, a player we actually like, a player we actually need, let's be honest, and we're giving him away. I mean, this has to stop. Something has to give. This cannot go on. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep being this desperate that you keep lurching into bad business deals. Oh, this has just gone too far, guys. I'm absolutely fuming. Not only have we lost a good player, not only have we lost a very valuable player, yes, we've freed up the wages, but we've got nothing. We've got nothing at all out of Al-Nassr, and that is staggering to me. So please do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Honestly, you just need to let me know right now how you are feeling. I need to go and digest this. This is all happening very quickly, and I didn't expect this. I really didn't today, guys. So please let me know your thoughts. I will for sure see you soon. We will be talking again, and soon. But thank you indeed for tuning in and for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Veshka, El Barça.